We're running a little bit late, so I'll try to cover as much ground as I can in the very limited time that I have. You know, if you really think about it, we have three things that have stayed basically the same since the Beit HaMikdash was destroyed over 1900 years ago. Three things. Number one, obviously the Torah, which is eternal. It's the Word of God. It stayed the same. No change. Number two, it says, Shechina lo zaza mikotel ha'maravi. The presence of Hashem has not moved from the Western Wall. Hashem guaranteed that the Western Wall will never be destroyed. And here we are 1900 years after the destruction of the temple. The Kotel HaMaravi, the Western Wall, is there, nice and beautiful, with millions of visitors every single year. That stayed the same. And number three, Morai v'Rabotai, unfortunately, the Sinat Chinam and the Lashon Hara, our baseless hatred and the Lashon Hara has stayed the same as well. We have to realize, when the Chachamim say that the generation that the Beit HaMikdash is not rebuilt, it's as if it was destroyed. Don't blame the people from over 1900 years ago for why we don't have the temple. It means that the problems are still here, Morai v'Rabotai. Ladies and gentlemen, the problems are still here. That's why the Beit HaMikdash is not here with us anymore. Don't say, oh, ze haya bizmanam avonot shelahem, mani. Morai v'Rabotai, you are responsible for it as well. We'll try to analyze, B'ezrat Hashem, how we could get the Beit HaMikdash to be back on top of that Har HaBayit. What do we have to do to get it back there? How can we have the Kedusha of Am Yisrael to come back, the Kavod Shechina, the Kavod Chodesh Baruch Hu? How do we get it back? And in my opinion, I think there's two very simple things. Number one, we got to start keeping the authenticity of the Torah intact. We got to preserve it. And number two, we got to eradicate the Sinat Chinam and Lashon Hara. Very simple. Three things stay the same. The Torah we got to preserve. The Sinat Chinam we got to get rid of. And then the Kotel HaMaravi will have what should be on top of it, like it used to be, Yamim Mekedem. And we'll explain what it means to keep the Torah the way it was and the way it should be. Listen very carefully. What does it mean to preserve the Torah? The Torah is this. It's Baruch Hashem, it's in the Aron HaKodesh. We have 5 over here, 3 upstairs, 1 in the other room. What do you mean keep the Torah the way it is? You know, God is very precise with His words. There's no extra letter in the Torah. Obviously no extra words in the Torah. Every single word has its reason behind it. And if you analyze in the Torah, Morai v'Rabotai, you'll see that only 2 total times, the word Morasha pops up. Morasha means heritage. 2 times in the whole Torah it says the word Morasha. Where does it say Morasha? It says that the land of Israel is a Morasha, a heritage for the Jewish people. And it also says, Torah tziva lanu Moshe, Morasha kilat Yaakov. That the Torah itself is a heritage of the Jewish people. These are the only 2 times you see the word Morasha showing up in the Torah. The land of Israel is a Morasha, is a heritage, and the Torah itself is a Morasha, a heritage. And the question is, why is the word Morasha used there and not Yerusha? What does Yerusha mean? Anyone that knows Hebrew, Yerusha means inheritance. Morasha and Yerusha have the same root word. So now, why is the Torah called a heritage? Why is the land of Israel called a heritage and not an inheritance? What's the difference in heritage and inheritance? Morasha and Yerusha, what's the difference? And you see many of the Poskei Azman, the Mefarshim of today's times, gave very beautiful answers on this question. What exactly is an inheritance? What is a Yerusha? You have a guy that has 3 children. This guy's a multi-millionaire. He has buildings in Manhattan. He has a few over here. He has a beautiful house in Queens. He has one in Brooklyn, one in Florida, one in Israel. And this guy, his time came to an end like anyone else in the world. Right? His time came up. He passes away. He gets buried. And who gets to inherit his property? Obviously his children. Right? So come along the children. They get all these buildings, all this money. It's all theirs. Now they could take that building and they could do whatever they want with it. They could take that building and sell it. They could take the money and give it to charity. They could take the money, keep it for themselves. They could take it and gamble it. It's their money, it's their building, it's their property. That's called an inheritance. The children take what they inherit from their father and they could do what they want as they wish. Ladies and gentlemen, the Torah
You're not using it anyway.
I'm not using it anyways, yeah. The Torah is not an inheritance. The Torah is a morasha, it's a heritage. What does it mean the Torah is a heritage? Heritage means you preserve it the way it was given. In other words, God gave the Torah to Moshe at Har Sinai, and he passes it down to Yeshua, and Yeshua to his students, and on and on and on and on to this day. The way the Torah was given, is the way we're going to have to keep the Torah. That's the way. We can't change anything with the Torah, ladies and gentlemen. It is a heritage, not an inheritance. You can't come along and say, we're living in the 21st century, so now we could start having this and that. Shabbat is not so serious. We could have marriages between men and women, chas v'shalom. We could do this, we could do that. This is what the Reform movement and the Conservative movement is all about. It is not emet. It's not true at all. They think the Torah is an inheritance. It's not an inheritance. The Torah is a heritage of the Jewish people, which means what? The way it was given, it must be preserved, it must be kept, it must be treasured. That's what the Torah is. It's a heritage. So number one that we must do, and every single one of us have this problem. You know what? This halakha I don't like so much. Or this mitzvah is not this, or this and that. I could play around with it a little bit. You think the Torah is your inheritance? You could play around with it. You inherit your father's house. You change the windows. You change the curtains. You could do that. You inherited it. But when it comes to the Torah Kedusha, the Torah is eternal. It's the word of Hashem. You cannot come along and say, I don't like this, or I want to change that. These are things you can't do. I hear this all the time from youngsters. What is it, Shomer Nigiyah? It's too difficult. What do you mean? It's not a big deal. I'm not doing. Morai v'Rabotai, it's asur, it's halakha. If you come inside Torah, I tell the guys, you come inside Torah, you'll see what it's all about. Right? The girls, you have to know what tzniut is all about. I mean, we have shiurim about this all the time, but sometimes we think, oh, it's not a big deal. It's in style. It's modern. It's this, it's that. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to realize that Torah is eternal. You can't change it. It's not your decision to change. It's not within your right. And if you change, you should know you're making a mistake. Don't feel comfortable at all in thinking it's okay. You're making a mistake. It's a ta'ut. It's a ta'ut. It's a mistake and you have to change. And that's why I always tell the guys, come and learn Torah. We have kollel every single night of the week. Classes in 3-4 different languages. Right? Come on in and you'll see where you're mistaken. You're not doing it on purpose. We know you guys mean well. But you'll see what you're missing. You're missing halakha. You're missing hashkafa. Right? Come in and learn Torah. Women, you send your husbands. We're open every single night from 8:30 to 10 p.m. Send them in. If you have a boyfriend, send them in. Your fiancé, whatever, send them in to learn Torah so they can all see what's going on in life. Right? All the guys say, my wife doesn't let me come. And then the wife tells me, why isn't my husband come? I don't understand. They say the wife doesn't let them. And she's like, why don't you convince my husband? Someone's definitely lying over here, right? So ladies, you could come over and tell your husbands, maybe announce it to me today, I want my husband to come learn Torah. Mothers, you tell your sons, whatever it is, sisters, tell your brothers. You got to learn Torah to know the truth. Because many of us sitting over here right now, very good, sincere people. You're keeping whatever you could, but you simply are misguided because you're not learning enough. It's not enough to open up a parsha paper every Shabbat or look at a magazine and learn read some musar and halachot. That's not enough. You got to come and learn b'kviyut. The women have a special program in Tisha BAv. Come on in, come join. I mean, Ilana, who's putting together the program, is working very hard. These are programs for every single one, for the women, for the men, everyone in their own time slots, to come in and get inspired and learn the truth. That's about preserving the Torah, ladies and gentlemen. You got to realize the Torah is emet. You cannot change it. It's a morasha, it's not a yerusha. It's a heritage, not an inheritance. That's number one. Number two, ladies and gentlemen, is regarding eradicating the sinat chinam. We talk about this all the time, but it's worth repeating it. What do you mean to get rid of the baseless hatred? What do you mean to get rid of the lashon hara? What does that mean? Listen very carefully, ladies and gentlemen. Please listen carefully. It's a mitziyut that many times in life, you have a guy or a girl. A guy that's 30 years old, and he's still single. B'ezras Hashem, he should find his shidduch, but he's still single at this moment. Comes along his friend on Sunday night to pray mincha and arvit. Did you hear the good news? What happened? I got engaged. Oh, mazal tov, mazal tov. I'm so happy for you. It's so great. Bli ayin hara, b'sha'a tova u'mutzlachat, mabaruk, all the different terminologies. But deep down in your heart, you're wishing, I hope she doesn't look good. I hope things don't go too well. You have all these different things. Why? It's eating you up. You got engaged before me. Nakarapo. Right? Why him and not me? That's already, this is sinah that's not really necessary. Be happy for the guy. Or a guy gets a new car. A guy gets a new house, and you just hope things don't go well. I hope he has trouble with his mortgage. I hope he gets his car scratched up, right? Because you don't want to see him happy. You don't want to see the simcha that the other person has. And let's be realistic. I have that problem, and many of us sitting here also have that problem. You cannot see the success of your fellow neighbor, of your fellow classmate. You know, it's like they always joke. In school, if you get caught cheating on a test, it's awful. But if you get caught with your friend, it's not so bad. You know? Why? Because you're not the only one. Or if you fail a test, it's right? But if your friend fails with you, you're the cool guys in class. You went to the club last night. We don't study for tests. But if he passed a test, you feel like he betrayed you. What do you mean? How'd you pass the test? You studied? You didn't tell me you studied. I thought you went out. Right? And you get upset. What do you mean? How did he pass? Right? What's going on over here? And the mitzvah is we get bothered. It bothers us. How did he pass? How did he get a house? How did he get a raise? I didn't get the raise. I didn't get the house. Right? Morai v'Rabotai, analyze. Look deep down into your hearts. Don't think about your friend. Think about yourself. See if you have this issue of constant jealousy, of hatred, of things that shouldn't be there, but you never really pay attention. You don't pay attention to these things. Why? Because, okay, Masiach Da'ato, you're not thinking about everything. You're very busy with life. Then something pops up, so you get a little jealous. What's the big deal? Did I kill anyone? I got jealous. Did I hurt him? Did I punch him? Did I cause him any financial harm? No, I'm a little jealous. I have a little hatred. What's the big deal? We have to keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, jealousy is one of the 10 commandments. Right? Not to be jealous is one of the 10 commandments. It's not a nice midat chasidut. You know, it's nice not to be jealous. It's nice not to be... These are all mitzvot. Right? And if someone says it's an emotion, yes, God commands emotion as well. God expects of us to control our emotions, the way we think, the way we talk, right? The way we act. Everything has to be measured and thought out. Every single thing in life has to be measured and thought out. This is something we all have to work on, ladies and gentlemen. How to be happy for other people. Chacham Metzion Abba Shaul Zatzal was a great Tamid Chacham, a Yereh Shamayim. He's one of the Gdolei Poskim, one of the greatest halachic deciders of our generation. He passed away in the late 1990s. He writes in his book, Or Letzion Chochmah U'Musar, something very beautiful. What exactly is Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha? What does it mean to love your friend like you love yourself? What's the definition? Okay, I love him like I love myself. What do you mean? What kind of question is that? Morai v'Rabotai, I'll give you an example. Imagine you have your next door neighbor. Chas v'shalom, a family member of his dies, passes away. So now you feel bad for him. You know? You already offered, say, listen, I'll cook for a week. This lady will do the laundry for a month. This guy will do a carpool for a week. Right? Everyone will get together as a community to help them out at this time of tragedy. Someone suddenly passed away. We're going to chip in. Right? I'm going to give A, he'll give B, she'll do C, and she'll do D. Right? Is that if you're fulfilling the mitzvah, yes or no? Yes or no? Yes? No? Let's be realistic here. The people that said no probably figured it's a true question, right? The ones that said yes gave us the honest answer. Now, why would you say no? Anyone can tell me why you said no? The guys that said no, where are you now? Where'd you go? Non-conditional. Yes, Jacob.
He's waiting for something bad to happen to realize.
So he's saying that the reason is, you have to wait for something bad to happen. I'll give you something a little deeper than what he's saying over here. Says Chacham Ben Tzion Abba Shaul, he says as follows. It's a very powerful point. He says, Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha isn't necessarily helping when someone is down or suffering or has a tragedy. You got to be crazy not to help such a person out. You know? Well, how could you not help him out at a time of need? Ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha means when things are going well for him, when he's succeeding, when she is succeeding, you're there and you're truly happy for them. That's ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha. To love your friend as you love others doesn't mean, oh man, I heard this guy, his wife died or his child is very sick. Let me help him out. No. It means when his wife is healthy and when his child is healthy and things are going well, he builds a new house or he gets a raise, you're truly happy for him and you're praying that he keeps succeeding. That's ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha, ladies and gentlemen. Unfortunately, we define it as helping someone that's in pain. A friend of ours that we couldn't stand seeing succeed, now his child gets killed in a car accident, God forbid. Suddenly we're waking up. Let me help him out. What help him out now? Right? Of course, of course you got to help out. But ve'ahavta l're'echa kamocha is something a little deeper, ladies and gentlemen. And this is what I think we all have to accept upon ourselves. Having more love and concern and care towards people that are good, that are happy, that are Baruch Hashem, in place. That's what we have to work on. Baruch Hashem, we have a lot of great people working for the people that are having trouble, and we need more people, no question about it. Right? But this is what we got to work on, ladies and gentlemen. And every single one, every single one according to his capabilities, every single one according to his she'ifot in life, try to be what? Try to help out others, help people, and be happy for people. Right? This is what we got to do. And this is the small message I wanted to give over to you. Right? This is the message I want to give over to you guys. That we have to work on these two things. The Kotel HaMaravi is there. We all go there. We pray there. Right? It's there like God promised. It's a haftacha that HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us. The Shekhinah will always be there, it will never be destroyed. But what are the other two things you mentioned? The Torah. Of course the Torah is around and it's real, but we got to preserve it. There's too many people in the community that unfortunately feel that we could take the Torah and play with it the way you want. Right? Too many people, and you have to teach them, say, Morai v'Rabotai, listen, this is not the derech. What do you mean? You're fanatic, you're this, you're that. This is not the derech. We'll have a sit down with the rabbi, we'll explain to him. People are coming over to me, I'm shocked at this. I have this all the time. We're having a big Purim party. Oh, great, where is it? And this is this place. What's the idea of the Purim party? Oh, we're going to have a DJ, guys and girls, blasting, having fun, proud to be Jewish. Right? And I'm thinking to myself, is it going to be with mechitza and according to halacha? No, Rabbi, you have to understand. We want to make sure they marry Jewish. So we're going to have, mixed. We're going to make it very exciting. We're going to have Hamantashen over there. We're going to have a Megillah. Very Jewish. Beautiful Purim party. Morai v'Rabotai, this is the Seudah v'Achashverosh. Every single year we're repeating it on Purim. Right? And you're doing it in the name of God. Right? You're doing it in the name of Hashem. You're doing it to bring people closer to religion. Can you find me Rabbanim that give you a heter to do such a thing? Right? Where is such a heter in Shulchan Aruch to have disgusting averot done in the name of the Torah? No such thing. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to realize the Torah is eternal. There's one Torah and only one Torah. Keep it, preserve it. And number two, what we have to realize is, Ben Adam lechavaro we have to work on. And Ben Adam lechavaro means not only you to your neighbor, to the guy that sits next to you in shul. We have many issues of shalom bayit between a husband and a wife. I know many people that tzarenu harav, that maybe, Baruch Hashem, they're very smiling and very happy and very active when it comes to the community, when it comes to their workplace, right? But when they go home and they're behind closed doors, they're different people. They're verbally abusive. They're physically abusive, right? You should know. The doors are closed, but you're going to be notenet hadin on this. All the guys and all the women that use their mouth to abuse their husbands and wives, right? To put them down and you make them feel like dirt. While in the streets you're walking around with all smiles as if you're the greatest guy or the greatest girl, right? You have to realize you're going to be notenet hadin for all the ways you're acting with your spouse, right? There's another thing we have to work on. Many people are telling me, oh, my marriage is terrible, right? And we want to get divorced and we're doing it for the children. We're staying together for the children. Hashem Yishmor, your children have to see you fight every single day. Why don't you fix the problems? No, that's my teva, they tell me. You can't change me. I'm an angry guy by nature. You can't change me. And I will tell them a very simple example. You tell me you're an angry guy by nature, you can't change? I tell them, what if one day you're having one of your tantrums and you're screaming at your wife? T this, T that, right? Tvoy mama this, right? And everything else. Now you're going at mamash, you're about to take the vase or something and like smash it on the floor and take your keys, throw it on the floor. Okay, I'm out of here, right? But then, as you're about to make the whole show and you're about to make the whole scene, tell your kids run to the room, right? You're about to do something crazy, you hear a doorbell, right? Ding dong. And you walk over to the door and you see, right? It's your best friend or it's your neighbor or your rabbi, right? Suddenly who? And suddenly what happens is you start changing. John, can you bring some tea? Can you bring some fruits? Where are the cakes? 1 second. 30 seconds ago, you were screaming at her. She's a this, she's a that. Now you get someone knocking on the door. You're saying, sweetheart, honey, right? Where's the cake? Where's the drinks? You sit down, you're talking. And I ask these guys, what happened? How did you suddenly change? He's like, what do you mean? Someone came to my house. Of course I had to change. And I tell him, but you told me you're angry by nature and you can't change it. That's who you are. The answer is very simple. That's not who you are. That's who you decide to be. Because the fact that you're able to change when someone knocks on the door, that means you have the inner capability to control yourself, to control your anger, to control your emotions. The fact that you don't doesn't mean that you are like that because you don't want to, because no one sees you right now. The doors are closed, the curtains are shut, right? Ladies and gentlemen, take this message to your hearts, right? Every single person, Baruch Hashem, was given a capability to control their emotions, to control their anger, to control their jealousy, to control everything, right? The question is, do you want to or do you not want to? That's the question. Anyone that comes to me, that's who I am, I'm telling him straight to his face, you're a liar. You're not trying to change. You're not giving it a shot. You're not looking to improve. You're happy with what you are, right? But the fact of the matter is, ladies and gentlemen, the Torah demands of us, the Torah expects of us. If the Kadosh Baruch Hu put you down here in this world as a Yehudi, as a Jew, that means He gave you an extra, a koach, an extra strength to fulfill your life as a Yehudi, right? To fulfill your mitzvot as a Yehudi. And if you don't, it's not something that He didn't give you the capability. He gave you the capability because you're not trying enough. That's why I urge and I challenge every single one of you. You're coming here out in the hundreds to Tisha BAv, but come in throughout the year, right? We have over here, Baruch Hashem, in the synagogue, a minyan every morning at Netz. You have one at 6:30. You have one at 7:30. You have learning groups at night, right? You have programs for girls all the time, right? There's no reason why you should not be part of it, right? There is no reason. You guys have to just take your time and realize, what am I living here for? What is my purpose in this world? Like the minhag of many communities is to go on a fast day to the cemetery, right? To go to a grandparent's grave or a rabbi's grave. Why do we go on a fast day to the grave? What do we do over there? So the mefashim, they bring down different reasons. One of the reasons is as follows. When a person is fasting, you're sitting here, it's about 2:30 p.m., 2:45 p.m., and your stomach right now is grouching, and you're going to the grave. It's 90 degrees outside, and you're feeling weak and soft. And someone gives you a call, yeah, hello, call me later, call me after the fast. And you just feel like just, laying on the bed and relaxing, killing the time till 9 o'clock, whatever it is the time that the fast ends. And you simply can't handle it. So you're going to the grave and you're being a little humbled. You're looking at all the different people that passed away. You see this guy was 74, this guy was 37, this guy was 45, this kid was 15, you're seeing all these age groups that there's no contract. No one here has a contract, I'm living to the age of 96, Baruch Hashem. Right? You don't have such a contract. Right? No one knows. You're living day by day. Right? And Bezrat Hashem, you should be zocher to a long life, Bezrat Hashem, amen, keni ratzon, but no one knows. Right? But we go to the funeral, to the grave, and you sit there and you get humbled for a few minutes. You get humbled and you have to tell yourself, Reuven, Shimon, Sarah, Rivka, why are you being so hardy? Why are you rebelling against Hashem? Why are you not treating people the way you should? Why are you not taking another measure of tzniut? Why not add a little more Torah? What are you such a big shot for? Look, you're breaking down. You haven't eaten for 15, 20, 24 hours. And you're breaking down, and you're falling apart. You see, you're getting humbled. You're not all that the way you thought you were. Right? You haven't eaten for a short time period, and you're simply breaking down. And this is a tremendous musar for all of us. Look at us. We're tired, we're exhausted, we're hungry. But what? We think so much of ourselves right after the fast is over. We eat, 7 minutes you feel full. Right? Oh, Yishtabach Shemolad, Baruch Hashem. And you forget everything. You forget the purpose of why you fasted. You don't change one bit. That's why the Mishnah Berurah warns. And we'll end off with this. It says in Mishnah Berurah, and this is a very, very clear thing that you have to take to heart as we're sitting here now. If you're the same person before the fast, and after the fast, you missed the purpose of the fast. Right? You're supposed to change. Before the fast, you had A, B, C as problems. After the fast, you have to at least improve one of them. You did an Avirah all the time. After the fast, you have to tell yourself, I'm going to hold myself back from now on. Right? That is the purpose of a fast, to be machni'ai ta'adam, to humble the person, to show mi ani v'machayai. What am I? What is my life? What am I such a big shot for? Right? That is the idea of the fast. To change, to be humbled, to realize that what? We have a Kadosh Baruch Hu that's leaving us a certain lifestyle. I tell it to all the guys and girls, from the youth minyan over here, the rabbi has done a special job of getting people inspired, and through CHAZAQ and Tony Time and Emet, all these organizations, people are being inspired. Ask them when they changed, if they've had a difficult life right now. They'll say it's different, it's full of purpose, and we're very happy we changed. Yes, In the beginning, it was a little different. People gave us a little accusations. Family members said, what happened to you? You used to be such a good little boy. You used to eat in my house all the time. I used to change your diapers. I used to take you to school. Now you're not eating in my house anymore. What happened? And you explained to them very kindly. You found out what your Jewish traditions are all about. And let them know that their great-grandfather did the same thing. And their great-grandmother did the same thing. Right? And that you're not the one that changed. They're the one that changed. But in a respectful fashion. Explain to them very nicely. But do not be embarrassed, ladies and gentlemen. And Be'ezrat Hashem, if we take these 2 pointers to heart and we implement it into our lives, we take the Torah and preserve the authenticity of the Torah. We take the Ben Adam Lechavaro and work on it. Respecting, loving, caring, not only when something goes wrong, but when things are going beautifully. Then Be'ezrat Hashem, we will see that Be'ezrat Hashem by next year, hopefully Be'ezrat Hashem will be in Yerushalayim, Ir HaKodesh, B'mehera b'yameinu, Amen, Ken Yiratzon.